And just like that, you have a pretzel.
What kind of magic was that?
On today's episode, we're making mall pretzels. I'm Jessica Lugo, aka Bake Me Pretty. And some of you might know me from hanging out with Martha Stewart on Bakeaway Camp. But on this show, we're making store-bought guilty pleasures from scratch. Every time you go to a mall, you smell these. They're really soft, a little bit rubbery, but honestly, they live up to the hype. I'm ready to tackle these. We're gonna start, of course, with the pretzel dough. You're gonna need 1.5 cups of warm water, between 100 and 110 Fahrenheit, but if you don't have a thermometer, just lukewarm is just fine. You don't want it to be too hot because it will kill the yeast. 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 packet of dry yeast, 1 teaspoon of salt, 3.5 cups of flour, and 1/4 cup of baking soda. So now that we have our ingredients all ready to go, what we have to do is let our yeast sit. So we're gonna combine the warm water in our mixer bowl. Just be a little careful. The sugar. The sugar is what's gonna help activate the yeast. And then our yeast. Just to make sure the yeast is actually mixed well, I'm just gonna use a fork. So now that that's mixed, we're gonna let it sit for 10 minutes. You're gonna start seeing the yeast get foamy, and that means it's activating and working, and then we're gonna proceed with the dough. As you can see, the yeast is already foamy, it's doing its thing, that means it's activated. So we're gonna go ahead and take the salt and put it in to our flour. Give that a little mix. We're gonna slowly put the flour into the mixer. Leave the mixer around medium speed, about 6 to 8 minutes. Okay, so now that we had kneaded the dough for about 6 to 8 minutes, we're gonna take it off the mixer. I'm just gonna take the dough out of here. Put that off to the side. We're gonna pour a little bit of oil. We're gonna take the dough. We're gonna use the dough as a brush, and we're going to bring it all around the bowl. This way, when the dough rises, it doesn't stick to my bowl. And now we're gonna let this sit for about an hour in a really warm place, and it should double in size. Fun fact. Around 16, 17 years old, I used to work at Annie Ann's Pretzels. So I can roll a mean pretzel, and I swear that is like riding a bike, you never forget it. So I'm gonna teach you my tricks and tips on how to roll a pretzel, lightly flour our counter. And with the pizza cutter, we're gonna cut off our pieces. So I'm gonna cut off a log shape just like this. What we're gonna do, we're gonna stretch it out, and as we stretch it out, we're gonna start to roll. We want to make sure that the dough is right between like the middle of our hand and our palm. We're just using the balls of our knuckles here, and we're just gonna lightly roll it into place. Just like that. We're not gonna press down, we're just gonna slightly roll. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pinch slightly on the ends of my dough here, and I'm gonna tap it on the counter. Then I'm gonna roll it out again. And now it's about the length that I want it. Okay, so here's the tricky part. I never lassoed a cow or horse or whatever before, but this is, I think, kind of similar. So all the motion is gonna go in our right hand. The right hand's gonna be doing all the driving, the left hand's gonna be the passenger. You're going to grab both of the tips of the dough. The left hand is gonna stay steady, and you're gonna take the right hand and you're gonna do a circle motion so that the dough kind of spins itself, and then you're gonna press down and you're going to lock it in. So let's try it out. It takes a little bit of practice. And just like that, you have a pretzel.
What kind of magic was that?
So let's try it again. Cut a piece of the dough here. We are going to roll it out. I'm going to extend it by hitting it on the counter. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna pick up both pieces. You're not gonna move your left hand, you're gonna keep that steady. You're gonna take your right hand and you're kind of gonna do like a half circle motion. And as it's coming around to its half spin, you're going to bring the dough down and you're gonna press the feet onto the pretzel. So now that we have it all rolled up, we're just gonna put it on this baking sheet and we're gonna take it over to the stove and we're gonna give it a baking soda bath. So now we're gonna simmer some water in a pan and throw in our 1 1/4 cup of baking soda. And we're gonna carefully give our pretzels a 30-second baking soda bath. Once you're done giving your pretzels a baking soda bath, you're going to stick them in the oven for about 11 to 14 minutes until golden brown at 450 degrees. So my favorite pretzel when I go to the mall is the cinnamon sugar pretzel. We're gonna top these pretzels off with some butter and cinnamon sugar. What you're gonna need is 4 tablespoons of melted butter, 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, and 1 cup of sugar. We're gonna throw our sugar in our bowl. I'm using a cake pan because it's gonna help me with the mess. We're gonna put the cinnamon and the sugar together. Now that the cinnamon and the sugar is all mixed together, we're gonna take our melted butter and we're just gonna brush over our pretzel. When I used to work at Any Ends, we used to actually dip the pretzel in a whole tray of butter. It was insane. You technically can just put butter all over it, including the back. We want to make sure that cinnamon sugar gets everywhere. We're going to throw it in our cinnamon sugar and we're going to shake it. We're going to toss it and do the other side. Look at that! It's perfect!